Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Today I will be doing a round Dastar tutorial. So to start this off, I'm going to begin with just using my conga to comb through my hair. So my bunga is 1.5 meters long, and I'm simply just going to tilt my head forwards, place my bunga and take each side across. Once doing this, I'm going to begin to twist. So you can start your bunga wherever you prefer. If you prefer it more forward, then happily do that. So once doing this, make sure it's tight as it's your first base. I'll just place my gunga in, and I'm going to begin with my dastar. So my dastar is 6.5 meters long. I'm going to place my first lud where I prefer having my dastar. So this is different for everyone, so wherever you are comfortable with it, place it. So you can have your dastar behind your ears or on top, so whichever you prefer. So I'm just going to crisscross my lud at the back. Make sure you don't let this loose, as this is your first lud and it keeps everything in place as well. So I'm just going to start with my second lud, and I'm going to try and place it as close as possible to the first one. I'm just holding the first lud from the back, just making sure that my first lud doesn't fall loose whilst I'm doing my second lud. So as you can see, I've done my first and my second. So for beginners, I would recommend not using a white dastar, as you can see everything, like all the untidiness. Therefore, I'd recommend a darker colour. Okay, so I'm going to start with my third lud. So I'm just combing through the lud before I start placing it. So I'm going to bring it down and around. So each time you're going to bring your lud higher and higher. So as I've got the extra lud, I'm just going to tuck it in. So I'm going to hold the extra lud with one hand and bring round my fourth lud with the other whilst tucking it in. So just bring it around again. There we see it's been tucked in. So just try and keep all your luds tight as possible. It helps keep everything tidy. So as you can see, it is all covered, but I'm going to cover it again. So around, and I'm going to use my other hand just to pull the lud all the way across the top. Don't rush this part either, as it will lead to an untidiness. So once you've made sure it's going to cover the whole of the back, so now I'm just tidying up my lud. extra copper. So I'm just tucking it in slowly. Once I've made sure I've tucked everything in, I'm going to bring my lead across. If you prefer having a small round Dastar, just make sure that your Dastar length is shorter. So I'm just ensuring the whole everything has been tucked in once again, and I'm just bringing my blood around and down. My first load has moved, as you can see, but that can be sorted out later on. So around and down. Once again, around and down. And again, around and down. Just keep everything tight as possible. So this is going to be my last load, so I'm going to make sure it's going to be perfect. So keep this as neat as possible as it's the last one. Stuck in any copra which needs to be tucked in, and around and down. So now I'm going to start folding, so it makes it easier for me to tuck in the lid. So I've folded in half and half again, bring it around and down. And I'm just going to find a place to slot it in. Just do this as neat as possible, take your time. So that's your Dastar done. So now I'm going to sort out my first lid. So as it's tilted, just push it up into a round shape. So I'm just tucking anything in and just pushing the lid up to where I want it. So once I've done this, I'm going to tuck in any hair. Tuck in any copra that you think is loose. And this is where you can shape the Dastar. If you think that the Dastar is more to one side than another, you can push it. So I'll tilt my head back and see if it's even. And push down any areas where I think it's uneven, or push up. So I did this twice just to double check anything I pushed just right. So that's the final Dastar. So obviously if you want to do your bunga a bit more higher, you can do that. If you prefer a bit more back, then do your bunga a bit more backwards like I have. And that's the final Dastar. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like and subscribe. You can check out my last video if you click the link in my bio. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.